Hey guys, welcome to the Error 404 podcast. My name is Arian, and I am here with Leah.
Hey guys.
I was just going to say, Leah, say hi to everyone.
Oh, all right, fuck you.
That was perfect. You are on it. We are starting a new podcast. We did have one before that was more about kind of everything, video games, movies, and then just kind of random stuff. And we wanted to come back and do it because we really missed it. And this time around, we wanted to have some more guests on, talk about what people are doing, try to give them a platform. And, don't get me wrong, some episodes might be kind of old school us, but for the most part, we wanted to try
or some
a
might be
professional
a
one.
screaming match, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So we definitely want to come back, try a more professional one. We'll see how long that lasts.
What the fuck does that mean?
Before we get back into our old ways again.
Oh, yeah. Trying to be as good as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, 2 episodes in, we're like, you know what? We're done.
Fuck it.
Fuck it all. But, yeah, so now we're back again with this one. We're going to try something new. But today is going to be an introduction episode, I guess you could say, for those who haven't heard our other podcasts or listened to anything else that we do. We decided to introduce ourselves today, probably tell some stories. They always end up as GameStop stories. But those were some of the best moments of our life. So I'm going to let Leah start out.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Was that a good introduction?
Yeah, sure. No, you're good. I'll enter applause later or something.
There you go. Perfect.
Just Jimmy Fallon saying some random name and I come out.
Yes, perfect.
No, okay, so I'm Leah. I'm one of the hosts of Error 404. I am 25 years old, and I've known Arian for almost a decade through GameStop. That was when we first met.
Has it really been that long?
It's been almost a decade, dude. I know. Right. All the shit we've been through in a decade. You're like, how the fuck?
Yeah. How did we fit all that in?
Yeah. Are we not dead, arrested, or just, straight up sick of each other?
At that point, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You'll probably find out in the podcast, Arian knows this, for being my friend in a decade, I don't mentally get things. It's hard for me to get it. It takes a while. So I can't be programmed to think one thing and then learn to think another on my own because I'll just battle myself. I'll be like, but this is not what I was told. I don't get it. When I was a music major, which was my first semester, there was a transgender couple. But it didn't really make sense to me logically, so that's what I struggled with. And I was like, okay, because it was 2 guys, and they used to come into GameStop all the time. You probably know who I'm talking about. They were
probably
2 guys that always came into GameStop, and one guy liked the other, but the other was straight. So the gay guy turned himself into a girl to be attracted to his friend, and then they started dating. But then the guy that was straight turned himself into a girl, and I was super fucking confused at that point. Because I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, what's happening? So they were in my music class. So I walked up, and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? Please don't take offense. I'm struggling with this whole transgender. So, because this is when transgender, hit. You know what I mean?
Not a lot of people knew about it.
Yeah, so
they didn't understand it.
I definitely didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't understand why you would want to transition. I just didn't understand this situation.
Right.
So I asked. I was like, okay, you're gay. And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And your boyfriend's straight. Yeah. Okay. So you became a girl, and then he was attracted to you, and then you guys started dating. Yeah. Okay. And then he became a girl. So I was like, okay, so you're attracted to men? Yes. Okay. So you're not attracted to him now? No, I still am. Okay. Even though he's now a girl? Yes. Okay. And then in his mind, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, so I look at the other one. I'm like, you're attracted to females? Yes. Okay. This one makes sense because you're both female right now.
Right.
And I'm like, so how does this work? I'm just a little hung up because are you guys not sexually attracted to one another? Is this kind of like a pack deal that you guys made? Like I just one owe the other money. Like I don't.
Right.
Yeah. And they basically called me a homophobic piece of shit when I was asking genuine questions. Like I was just curious how the whole thing worked.
Yeah.
And even my music teacher told him, he was like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, then I went to Japan for like 2 weeks because this is my second semester of college. And I was just a liberal arts major because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I went to Japan for 2 weeks, the Osaka prefecture in Osaka City. Had a blast the first week. Got trashed on sake, even though I was under the drinking age there. Because I think I was 19, I was 18, and the drinking age was 19. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Even in this country, I can't drink?
Right.
So, but when I went to the sake brewery, my professor handed me a bottle of sake. She's like, don't tell your mom.
That's great.
But dude, those girls got trashed. Those Japanese girls that went with us to the factory, they were drinking from the bottle, 2 bottles, like passing around, and they were done with it in like 10 minutes, and we were still on the one, and we're like, whoa, what the hell? Like we're trying to be like good in their country, and they're just trashed. I was like, this is bullshit. I don't want to be that.
I would have been hanging out with them.
Oh yeah, Japanese people can drink. Let me tell you that.
That's awesome.
They can fucking drink. But yeah, it was fun. We saw a lot of temples. We saw Nagasaki, and that's when I learned, like, America doesn't really teach us everything that happened. They just teach us the good and the victory. So I felt really bad. But Japan is a beautiful country. If you have the chance to visit it, do it. But by the second week, I was kind of done with it.
Yeah.
Like,
you're just like, okay, I'm over it. I want to go home.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely very clean. It felt like the safest country in the world, which it is for sure. It's definitely the cleanest too. There's like no littering, no nothing, and there's no trash cans either. So like when you're American and you eat like a fucking Rice Krispies treat, and then you're trying to throw away that wrapper, like you're fucked. Like,
yeah, it goes in your pocket.
And you can't. I dropped something on the ground once, even though I was picking it up. I got the dirtiest look, and I'm like, dude, calm down.
They're probably like Americans.
Americans. But when I got back, there was a new coworker at GameStop, and that was Ariane. And we were like kind of gauging each other for a while. We were kind of like not speaking. We were just kind of like watching each other from behind the shelves, like, who the fuck is this person?
Because now you transferred to my store, right?
Yeah, I was at the bigger store, and what happened was, oh fuck, I forgot about this. What happened was that I was dating someone at the time, and we got hired at the same time, and the manager of that store didn't really think anything about it because we act professionally, we didn't act like we were dating. And then they said in a conference call, anyone who's dating has to be fired. So he jumped on and said, like, he hired us. And they said, it doesn't matter that we get along and we don't act like we're dating. We can't work at the same store. So I vouched to transfer because I wanted to work there anyways.
Right.
But, dude, I fucking forgot about that. When I went to Japan, I broke up with him. Because then he couldn't text me because he would have to charge money. It was like the ultimate
with him.
Yeah. He cheated on me for a bit, and for a bit I mean a lot.
A while.
Yeah, with like multiple people. So I just was like, it's over, and then I went to Japan.
That's actually kind of cool.
And then like a week later, he went on my old Facebook because he had my password, and then said that I was gonna kill myself because he broke up with me. Remember this?
Yep.
But I actually broke up with him.
Yep.
I remember sitting at home playing Call of Duty, and we were supposed to be playing Call of Duty together, and something happened. Oh, you went out drinking with Alex.
I don't think that, because this wasn't Alex time yet.
No, this was Alex time.
Was it?
Yeah, this is when Alex was here, because, remember I had you cover my shift, and you've been up drinking all night with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know where we are in the timeline now. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, I was just playing Call of Duty. Ariane was supposed to join me, but her and Alex went out drinking. So this is like, I think fucking 11 o'clock at night. I hear this like, bam, bam, bam on the door. I have a pizza in my mouth and everything. My mom opens the door. Police officer's right there. I see him and he goes, is Leah home? Is your daughter home? And I did stupid shit before this. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I ran out the back door. They were calling for me. And he was like, you're not in trouble, just come back. And I was like, I don't fucking believe that. So I came back
Right.
and I was like, fuck it, I'll just say I got scared, but at least I came back so it's not like running away from the police because he didn't chase me. Um, so I come back, fucking dude's in shorts, definitely a bicycle cop. And he was like, what have you been doing? I was like, eating Call of Duty and eating pizza. He's like, can I see your phone? I'm like, why? And he was like, I just need to see your phone. And I didn't fight him. I gave him my phone. And he goes, where's Facebook? And I'm like, I don't have a Facebook. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, I don't have a Facebook. It got me in trouble like a year ago. I don't use it anymore. And he goes, well, someone's using your Facebook. And then he shows me that, like, I'm like, oh, fuck you, Mike. I'm going to kill myself. Like, blah, 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 blah. I'll send you pictures of videos.
Yeah, because that sounds like you.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? So I was like, you can go downstairs right now. I'm in a match right now. Like, I was playing Zombie Solo, and it was like Black Ops 2, and it says how long you've been on it. And I was like, you can look on it. And then, so we went downstairs, and he was like, okay, I still have to bring you to the hospital. It's just procedure. So, first off, they brought me to the hospital and just left me there. Like, no one came to talk to me. No one checked up on me. I peed in a cup, and then I still had the cup on me. Like...
Just carried around a cup of piss.
Yeah, so, like, they didn't really do their job well, but that's our hospital for you.
Yeah.
And, dude, I was sitting on, like, bloody linens. I was fucking like, dude, where the hell am I? But, everyone was there, and then apparently I messaged, one of my friends who worked in the mall, or I should say, quote, quote, friends, that I was gonna drown his cat and shit, and I'm like, what is going on, dude?
Yeah.
So, finally, they let me go, but they were like, you have to stay, for just a few more hours, and I'm like, dude, I work in, like, 3 hours. So, that's when I texted you, because they just gave me my phone, and I was like, hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but you might have to cover for me. I'm in the hospital. And you were like, yeah, just let me know. And I could already tell you've been drinking. I'm like, oh, fuck.
You could just hear the slurring in my text.
Yeah, so, and then, so, of course, like, I talked to them, and they're like, yeah, we're going to have to keep you until, like, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, fuck that. So then I texted you. I was like, yeah, you might have to cover for me. And you're like, okay. And you came in, like, hammered.
Yeah,
You came
we didn't go to bed.
You came in with a PBR, right? And you were, like, drinking it under the counter?
I had a few. Yeah, I think I had 3 left over, so I brought them in with me. Like, so it's funny because, like, during this time, because I'm going to backtrack to catch up my side of the story now.
No, yeah, go for it.
So that way we'll catch up and then go from there.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to get to where we were.
It's great because it works because it's a good stopping point to catch up to. So, you know, I knew some of you guys down at the other store. Obviously, we had to call you guys all the time, whatever. And then
it was mostly like, look out for this bitch.
Pretty much, yeah. That was pretty much what it was. They're like, yo, you guys got this game? No, cool, okay, bye. And then, but like, so I remember coming in. So I've been at GameStop since 2011 at this, like, at the point. So I was there, 2011 to 15? 16?
13.
Was it really?
No, it was 14.
Yeah,
it was like 14, 15, because I started 13, and we were there together for like 2 years.
Whenever I was 26, I stopped working there. So,
shit.
like, about 20,
dude,
25,
I was
26.
17, 18? No, I was 19. So, yeah.
You had to be, you were a little bit older, because we were, So, anyways, so I come in one day, and whoever the manager was at the time, I really can't remember, they're just like, so we're getting a transfer. And I'm like, fucking great. Let me guess. I have to train him. And he's like, well, yeah. He's like, can you be nice? I was like, I guess. So
like, I was like, can you just be nice?
So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. So then I walk in one day and you're standing there and I'm just like, all right, that's not bad. So I was like, because we never had an issue whenever I called the store or whatever, and sometimes we just like shoot the shit anyways. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. Okay, cool. So then, we started becoming friends. It was just funny because like I was kind of feeling out a little bit because I wasn't sure. Because let's be honest, a lot of people from that store were kind of like the prissy ones. It seemed like, especially to us. So yeah. So
high and mighty.
After a while, I just remember at one point I'm just like, fuck it, we're gonna end up being friends. I already see it now. So I walk out the door because I'm just like going on break, and then I remember coming back, peeking in, and I'm like, "You want Taco Bell?"
I forgot
like
about this.
But that's literally like the first non-work thing I said to you, like because everything else was about video games or about stuff at work or whatever. And then so I remember that was literally the first non-work thing I said to you was, "Do you want Taco Bell?" and then you said some dumb shit. I was probably drunk, so I don't really remember, but you said some dumb shit. You're just like, I don't have money or something. And I'm just like, I didn't fucking ask that. I asked if you want to Taco Bell. So come back, we have Taco Bell. And then was it this time that one of the managers coming in, we had food behind the counter?
Yeah, I had a soft taco.
All right, so either I think I was on the ladder or you were. You were on the ladder.
Yeah, I was on the
and
ladder.
Because you were doing like cleaning or doing something, and I remember we got the call like, hey, you guys might want to be careful. So we're just like, oh shit, we gotta clean this up.
We got trouble.
I remember oh yeah. So I remember grabbing your taco and I'm just like, hide this, and I like threw it up to you and you threw it in the ceiling. And I don't know why that was the place when we could have just walked in the back and fucking put it in the fridge that we had, or like one of our bags.
They called us, and these two stores are only like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, so I think we just kind of panicked in that moment because we had like other stuff that we were trying to get done. Like we actually did our jobs. I just want to put that out there. We were just dicks about everything because at this point I've been there for a while, and it's, you know, and I'm just like, I'm pretty much done with this. So that was funny. So everyone remember the taco.
Yeah.
So I remember you throwing that up there, and then they came in, we dealt with that. And then I think it was that night we got excited because I told you, I'm like, you want to go for a ride with me tonight? And you're just kind of like, oh, where? And I was like, my mom works at Best Buy if you want to go down with me. And you're just like, okay. And then like, it was something like that. And then after that, we just started talking. So I remember we closed up, or no, we were the morning shift. That's what it was. So we got relieved, and then we were walking down, and in the jungle is what I call it, in the mall. I remember the brick wall.
By the theater,
Yeah, and I remember the brick wall, and I'm trying to explain something to you, and you weren't getting it. So I was like, all right, fuck this, look. And I go over to the brick wall, and I start drawing an imaginary map of how we were going to do this, like where cars were, where we were going to meet, where we were going to do everything. And you were literally just following along. Like you could see what I was writing. And it was like that moment that I'm like, yep, we're going to be friends. And like,
my favorite part about that is that we were like, no, go here, go here. And I was so insecure because I'm like, she's going to think I'm fucking weird. And then you were just on it. And I remember we were like, okay, let's do it, break. And then we were walking away. Oh, no, before that, the janitor walked by and he was like looking at us weird, and I looked at him and I just like put my body over the map.
We started covering the map that no one else could see, including us.
Like, don't fucking look at our plan.
Yeah, I was like, don't pay attention to this.
And
it's
then
not for you.
We went to go walk away, and I was like, oh wait. And then I started erasing the map, and I was like, no one can know what we're doing.
I was like, good call, man. And then we just left. And then it kind of just went from there. And then, so now at this point, my ex, now obviously, but boyfriend at the time, Alex, was from England. And this was a little while into it, wasn't it? Because no, you turned 21 later. Okay, so anyways, I remember all this. So he was over for the first time. You were
with him for like
2 or 3 years.
2 or 3
because
years,
you turned 21 while I was with him, and then that's when I left him.
Like,
as soon as you could drink,
that's when I left.
Bye.
You got new drinking buddy. Peace out.
Fuck y'all, I don't need you. So I remember he was there, and this was only like his third day here at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went and we got a Natty Daddy's. So I just want to put the picture out of what we were drinking that night. Now at this point it's about 11 o'clock because we got back around that time, and I had not talked to you for a little bit because I remember you just went home and you told me you were just gonna have some pizza and game, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And I told you, all right, well, we're gonna be drinking, but call if you need me for whatever. So I remember we get back, and then so we're done. Like, we had all the Natty Daddy gone, which is a pretty high percentage. So that was gone. We had a bunch of mixed drinks, everything. And then all of a sudden, my phone goes off at probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock. It was around there because it was a little bit later.
Yeah.
My phone goes off. It's a text from you saying, hey, something happened, and I might need you to cover tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I know that's bad because you wouldn't call out unless it was something bad. So I'm like, all right, man, just let me know. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to keep drinking, fuck it. So kept drinking. And at this point, I'm pretty much gone at this point because at the time in my life, I was very heavy into drinking. It was kind of the same thing. Like, I am older than Leah. I'm 31. So there's an age difference between us. But at this time, I was going through some really rough shit, and then ended up dating a guy who lives in another country who also drinks a lot. And that became kind of a toxic thing, but at the same time, something I needed at that time. And Leah understands what I mean by that,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
But I was like, yep. So I
And
was
that's
like, I'm
basically
gonna
what
keep drinking.
the alcohol and drugs were for me. It wasn't
Exactly.
because I
Yeah.
was like addicted. It was just because I wanted to feel good.
Yeah, it's just that's the thing, that's the toxic that you needed at the time.
Yeah.
So I remember this is about this was late because this was about 3:30 in the morning, I
Oh,
want to say.
it was very late.
Yeah, because at this point I'm still up. My mom just went to bed, like probably a half hour. So she probably went about 3 o'clock, we'll say that, just to get a better timeline here. So she goes to bed and I'm like, all right, we'll keep it down, whatever. And at like 3:30 in the morning, I get a text from you again saying you're gonna have to cover. And I was like, all right. Now, mind you, your shift was opening, which meant I had to be there at 6 or 7.
It was like 7, I think.
Yeah, I had to be there at 7 to open up the store, so it took us about an hour. So at this point, it's about 3:30, and I'm just like, I look at him, and I'm like, I got to work in a few hours, and he's like, wait, what happened? So I told him, I was like, you got into something. I was like, so I got to cover your shift, and he's just like, all right. And then we look at each other, we go, I keep drinking. So I stayed up and I looked down at the floor. There's 3 PBRs sitting there, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna get thirsty. So I put it in my backpack in the car.
I like the. Well, I am gonna get thirsty.
So I just remember I put it in my backpack. I go out. My mom brings me because obviously I'm responsible-ish and not gonna drive. So she brings me and she drops me off, and I'm sitting there trying to find the keys, which were in my hand the entire time. And she goes, Ariane, and I was like, first off, don't say my name like that because I'm not in trouble for anything. It's not my fault. I was like, so I get ready, I get everything, I go in, and I couldn't open the front door, so that was the first problem. I was at the wrong one. You know how they had that one door specifically open? Yeah, I kept going to the wrong one, and then I tried another one and got in. So I was like, all right, we're off to a good start. This is fine. I'm walking in and just kind of staggering everywhere, and I get up to the gate finally, and it takes me, no joke, a solid 10 minutes for me to get that open. And I don't know, you know how much that gate sucked up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Awful.
So like trying to do that drunk like was impossible. So I finally get in there, and it was so funny because I rolled it up just enough that I laid on the floor and just rolled in, and I'm just dragging my backpack behind me. I slammed down the gate. I still lay on the floor for a few more minutes, and I'm like, fuck. So at this point, it's like I'm at that peak where I can function, but I'm definitely drunk, and you can tell. It comes 8 o'clock or whatever, and I open the gate. I'm standing there, and I'm like, time for a PBR. So I go behind the counter, literally crack open a PBR, and I'm just sitting behind the counter drinking this, just waiting for 3 hours for somebody to come in. And then I think at this point you had texted me again and to let me know everything was okay and that you're really sorry. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm drunk anyways. And you're just like, wait, are you at work? And I'm like, yeah.
I was so concerned. I was like, does this bitch not cover my shift? And then you're like, no, I'm at work. And I was like,
no, dude, I'm at work.
Who the fuck is this? Because we were still like learning each other.
Yeah, this was still like the pre-friendship. So like, I was like, yeah, man, I'm here.
Brian was working at the time.
Yep. So I remember you came in, but it was so funny because he wasn't supposed to be in, but he called the store. I answered. He goes, Arian, why are you there? And I was like, because I fucking work here. Like I didn't.
Because I fucking work here. You should know.
But remember, at this time, I had been working with him, or actually we have been working with him for a while now at this point, and you and I and him all had an issue. And you know how I take my shit. So I was like, I don't like you. So, you know, I'm going to make sure you know. So anyways, so he's like, why are you there? He's like, I was like, because I fucking work here. He goes, Arian, where's Leah? And I was like, bro, I don't know. And I didn't mean to say, bro, I don't know. But, you know, I'm already drunk, still drinking at work. You know, I pretty much don't give a shit. What are you going to do? Fire me? So
that was our motto. What are you going to do?
That was
Fire
literally
me?
our motto. Yeah. I was like, you can, but it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, where's Leah? And I was like, I don't know. She texted me, said something happened. She needed me to cover shifts. So I'm here covering the shift. And he's like, well, I wasn't told about it. I was like, I didn't think I needed to tell you. So sorry. And I was talking to him like that. And I was like, didn't think it mattered. Like, what does it matter, Brian? I'm here opening the store. Who really gives a shit who's on clock? I'm taking this one. She's taking another one. The hours are fine. And he's like, well, I'll be in. I was like, please don't. So I'm just like, fuck it. And I'm on my like third PBR at this point. Like I got to my third one finally. And I think this was the time, because there was a few times that I brought PBR in, but I think this was a time that he actually came in. My PBR was under the middle register because that was the one he could put everything because it had the shelves. And when he walked in, I dropped something and it hit my PBR, and I was like, shit. And like, I remember chewing on some gum or whatever. And it was funny because he walks up and he goes, I'm really not happy. I wasn't told about this. And I was like, Brian, I'm not going to text you at 3 a.m. to let you know I'm opening the store. If no one could come in, that would be different. I was like, get off it. So he went in the back, started doing stuff. And I'm like, kind of sitting there and I'm like, shit. I don't really care about getting fired, but I'm more worried about like drunk in public, which, at the time, obviously what I was going through, I really didn't give a shit about much. So I'm like, well, Brian could get me for a lot here. And I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I'm like, you know what? Let's see how it plays out. And I was like, I'm bored. Now, mind you, you're not there with me. So I have no one except him.
Yeah.
So he comes back out and he goes, I have a question. He's like, why are there PBRs in your backpack? And now, mind you, I put the cans in there. And I didn't close it. And I was like, why are you going through my backpack, Brian? And he's just like, well, but it's open and I saw it. And I was like, Brian, they were there from like the other day because I don't litter. Okay. And like, I was just being like a total dick about everything. And he's like, Arian, are you drunk? And I was like, I wish, especially now. And like, so I was just being a total asshole. And then it was great because you could see the situation escalating. And then all of a sudden you walk around the corner and I was like, oh boy. I was like, so this goes. And then I remember you coming in and Brian going, Leah, is everything okay? Like, he was actually kind of decent with you, if I remember right. And he was like, is everything okay? You're like, yeah, I just wanted to bring in my doctor's note for proof, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I even gave him, like, the wristband that I was in the hospital.
Yeah,
and
I
then
remember
he was
that.
like, oh, that's not necessary. But I knew that he was going to fuck me. So I'm like, no, take it.
Yeah, no, please take everything I'm giving to you right now.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because I remember him going in the back to, I think, put it down, or he wanted to talk to you. So I remember you kind of stepped in like behind the registers and you're just like, dude, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm great. And you're like,
I knew
how drunk
you've been
are
drinking.
you? Oh, yeah. And you're like, how drunk are you? And I'm like, I'm pretty much there. And like, that's all I remember. So it made no fucking sense. And then I look at you and I'm like, I got a favor. And I'm just like, I need coverage. And you didn't even know what it was about. And you're just like, yeah, man, what do you need? And I was just like, I have a half open PBR right there. I need to get it out of the store real quick. Can you keep them in the back for like a solid like 2 minutes? Because I wanted to run to the trash can, like right outside the door to throw it in there. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to like put it in something so it wasn't like out in the open. And you're just like, really? You're like, well, where is it? And I showed you. And then I remember taking it out. I think this was the time I took it out and I just started drinking it right behind the counter. And you're just like, dude. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I'll say this and then we'll take a quick break for our sponsors and come back and we'll continue. But I remember when that store closed, like he ran it into the ground. Like he didn't realize financially how much that store cost, so he was just like spending our budget on stupid shit. And then I remembered, same time, he lifts up the tile, and we fucking remember. We're like, you're like,
we both just went,
yeah. Oh. We're like, oh no, because the guy was like, there's a weird smell coming from here, and I was like, I don't think I ever got that taco. And this was like a whole year since we've known each other that you bought me that taco. So it comes out, it's like moldy and like, oh god, I want to puke. Look at it, but it was like water almost. Like it was that moist. Like
it was
just,
gross,
like,
dude.
Falling apart.
It was
and
gross.
the guy was like, ugh, and I was like,
and then,
fuck, my taco.
And then you're just like, man, my taco. I forgot about that. And I was like, we should go.
And then I was like, dude, you want Taco Bell?
I was like, yeah, actually.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, that's why that taco moment was so important, because a year later it was so nice, because it was like our final fuck you. You know what I mean?
It was our final fuck you to the store.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. It was one of many, but that was probably the greatest
too.
one.
I think that was the best part. Is that it was like we thought we gave our last go fuck yourself, and then this taco thing happens, and it was just like so relieving.
The taco and the rubber bands.
Oh my god. The rubber bands were awful.
Yeah. But we had the tacos and the rubber bands. I remember that. But the taco was still the greatest moment.
My god.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll continue this conversation going forward. First, we're going to take a break, and you're going to listen to some sponsors real quick, and we'll be right back.
So decided one day, because I was just pissed off and bored. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start a food fight. So I started telling people, I'm like, I'm gonna do a food fight today. It took me 10 minutes to get this whole thing set up. And then my friend actually went home because it took me 10 minutes to get everyone aware of it. And then we still had 2 periods left. My friend went home. She lived close by, baked a fucking cake. No joke. And brought it back to school for this food fight. We all get to go down to lunch, and they brought us down. We went down these like side stairs and like the back way into the cafeteria. All this shit's going on. My friend runs over to the salad bar and starts throwing the salad bar everywhere. And like my friend, the Katrina with the cake, she came in and just lobbed the cake at one of the teachers that she had an issue with. And like, so this epic food fight happens, and of course, I'm immediately pulled to the principal's office, and he's like, we're calling the cops because that was assault. And I was like, bitch, that wasn't assault. I was like, do you want to see assault? And then, like, so they called the cops anyways, which is fine because, you know, a bunch of kids out of order and stuff like that. So myself and Katrina got pulled into the office, and Katrina she was a wild child, man. Like, I could never amount to what she used to do. But the principal pulled us in. We couldn't fucking stand him. We already had a bunch of issues with him. And I remember I got pulled into the office with her. She starts yelling at him, and she takes her arm and just swipes everything off of his desk, starts climbing on his desk, and she's like, do you want to see assault? Because I'll show you assault. And she just starts throwing shit, and like she's going off, and I'm just sitting back in the chair, and I'm like, well, this fucking escalated. So he looks at me, and like, because they obviously AJ was my nickname because no one could say my real name, so it was either AJ or Gepner. Like, that was it. So he's like, AJ, go home. And I was like, okay. And so I went outside, and I was waiting for Katrina to get out there. And I was pulling like fucking spaghetti out of my hair and all this other shit. And she comes outside, and all of a sudden these cops pull up, and they're just like, Katrina. And she's just like, nope. And she just takes off running. I was like, fuck yeah, this is great. I was like, I'll talk to you later, man.
But anyway, so yeah, we're drinking Power Hour, we're watching Parks and Rec. I think I start off with Bud Light, don't I? Because that's all I know at that point.
Whatever. Yeah.
So I'm drinking like canned Bud Light. I think I go through like 6 of them, and then I'm out of Bud Light because I didn't realize how fast you would drink alcohol during this. So she hands me a Natty Daddy, the most grossest fucking thing I've ever tasted in my life. And so after Parks and Rec is over, it's already been a half hour. We're already 30 shots in. I'm new to it. They're fine. I'm rolling my head around. Like, I can't fucking see shit. And I'm like, dude, let's go to the bar. And for some reason, they were just like, yeah, okay. So we went to the bar. I remember your mom was playing like Taylor Swift or something, and like you knew the words by heart.
Yeah, because my stepdad was obsessed with the 1989 album for some reason.
It's so
that's
fucking
all they
weird.
played in that. Yeah,
but then we went to the bar. I remember I was already fucked up, and the lady was like, "Are you of age?" And I'm like, "I just turned 21 today."
I was like, she's fine. Give her a shot.
So then you introduced me to whiskey sours. I did that. Yeah, I did like 2 of those. We took shots. I did shots of Fireball. And I'm pretty sure we were there until like 3 a.m. And I remember I was fucked up. Like I was fucking seeing colors and shit. You threw some girl in my lap. I remember that.
That was Felicia.
Yeah, because she just came over and
started sitting on my lap, and like she was like, "Oh my god, AJ, I haven't seen." Sorry, Mac is one of 3 dogs. I'm just gonna put that out there now. I have 3 dogs, cats, and a toddler, so there's gonna be some noises. But Mac is now trying to crawl into my lap and pushing me off the bed. So apologies. But yes, that was Felicia. She's like, "Oh my god, AJ," and she's like, "How are you?" And then she just started sitting on my lap. She was trying to kiss me, and then finally, I was just like, "I'm done with this." I go, "Hey, Leah," and you turn around in your chair, and I just lift her up and put her on your lap. I was like, there you go, have a friend.
I've never been more stiffer in my life. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? So eventually she tried kissing me on the mouth, and I was like, no, bro. So I pushed her off of me, and she goes, no one wants to have sex with me, and just walked away. And I was like,
it through the bar.
And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we're drinking. The guy's like, okay, it's, last call? And then I just go, oh, no. And then he's like, what happened? And I went, oh, fuck. She's like, what happened? I was like, oh, no. And I was like, what did I do? She's like, it's starting to kick in, all the shit you did. It's okay. It's an easy ride. I was like, no, dude. I have my English final in 3 hours.
And I just remember after you said that, I was just like, nah, we got this. Let's go.
Oh my god. So I remember you took me home and you were like, get some sleep. If you can't drive, let me know. I'll take you to your final. So I'm puking my brain. I wake up covered in puke and I'm like, oh fuck. So I take a shower real quick. And then I have like Gatorade, water. You bring me to school. You're a dick.
But to backstory this, though, you have to back up because you're missing some great points here. Yes. So we get you home, and I'm pretty sure we took the limo because we had our limo driver at the time.
Yeah.
So we took the limo, and I remember, or no. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyways, we took the limo, and I made Alex wait outside because this was when you were at your mom's at the time.
Yeah.
And I literally carried you inside, and I had to bring you downstairs to your bed. And I remember carrying you down the flight of stairs. I literally just flung you over my back, like your arms, and wore you like a backpack, essentially. And got you downstairs. And then I remember I got you onto your bed, and I was like, you good, dude? I grabbed your trash can. I was making sure you're breathing. I was like, dude, don't die. Your mom's going to be really mad. And I was like, she thinks I'm responsible. So then I remember there was Gatorade. There was stuff all over the place. And I was like, all right, man, I'll be back. Like, I'll bring you. Don't worry about anything. I'll be back in like, I think it was like 3 or 4 hours at this point. I think 3. I was like, I'll be back. You know, I'll come get you. Don't worry. I'll be here a half hour early to make sure you get there on time and everything else. So I remember leaving you. You seemed fine. You were making some noises, so it was cool. So I remember leaving. We got dropped off to the house, and I remember him going, I'm not tired. He's like, I want to keep drinking. And I'm like, well, obviously. So we kept drinking.
Yeah, you guys came to pick me up. We totally drove drunk, by the way.
At that point, I was drinking so much that night, and I actually did stop, and I had something to eat. So, like, by the time I actually got to you, I won't lie, I was buzzed. But, like, I was pretty much good to go at that point. He was definitely still drunk.
But they bring me, and, like, fucking, she yells at me, like, bye, honey, have a nice day at school.
Yeah, you got out of the car, there's a bunch of people, and I was like, bye, honey.
I remember going into class, and I'm pulling out a Gatorade, I'm pulling out another Gatorade, I'm pulling out a water, and you could tell I'm fucked up. So I take my English final, I text you, because you guys just hung around, I think you were at the mall. I texted you, like, when I was leaving the classroom, I was like, hey, I'm done. And then you come pick me up, and you're like, how'd you think you did? And I was like, I don't know, it's about women's rights or some shit. Because it was, like, pulled out of a hat what essay you were writing. It was like there was an essay portion, it was random.
Right.
So you couldn't cheat, and then, of course, the actual written test. Sure. But I remember we were on my toilet, and then you're like, dude, your phone's going off. So I looked at it, and it's an email from my teacher. And it's just a link of my essay, and it was just like, retake, ? And I was like, what? He wants me to retake my test. And you were like, what the fuck did you write? I wrote 2 pages of Doctor Who fanfiction. Like, then I ended it. I just ended the fanfiction and didn't end the essay. And then I handed it in, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
You were pretty much like, yeah, I'm done talking.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done talking. Listen to me now. Listen to this. Nah. And I got like a B-, but he thought it was the funniest fucking thing. He was like, I'm going to hold on to this forever.
I remember you telling me that. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, you should probably give me your schedule ahead of time. I won't pay attention to it. Like, you've got to learn.
You've never done it. I've given you my schedule so many times, and you've fucking forgotten.
Yeah, I just didn't care.
And then I remember, what, you and Alex stopped dating. We went to, like, the bar every, like, Thursday or Friday or something like that, because we had nothing better
funny,
to do.
Like, when you said when you were at college, and you're like, oh, yeah, you went to the mall to hang out. We were at 99 drinking.
That's awesome. But yeah, just kind of, like, wrapping it up quick. But fucking, yeah, like, after that, you broke up with Alex. We went to the bar, drink a bit, and then I went into the Army for, like, 3 months until, like, I broke my Achilles heel, I'll say. Mostly, like, fractured it, like, stress fractured it, and, like, tore the muscle, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna go home. And then they found out I had migraines, and they're like, yo, that's a disqualification right there. And I was like, fuck, I was gonna make so much money on this disability.
Right.
And I think that's why they did it, too. They didn't want to pay me.
Yeah.
But then when I got back, you were with Zach, who we went to, like, Warped Tour and everything. You got a concussion for, like, mosh pitting. And it was, like, downpouring the entire time. That sucked. And then I was so pissed because my band was playing last, and that's the only reason I went there.
Little bitch boy didn't want to stay. Yep.
And then he was like, well, Arian has a concussion. And you were a little, like, crying a bit, but you're like, no, I'm fine. Listen to your band, it's fine.
When you get kneed in the back of the fucking head, it tends to hurt a little bit.
But you were just like, I can sit down, it's fine. Like, you listen to your band, because you listen to yours, he listened to his, and I didn't even get to listen to any one of mine. We were, you had a job in Connecticut, and for a hotel, and then you offered me a job, and you're like, come live down there with me. And I was like, shit, okay. And then this is when you met Chris, who is the whiniest little bitch I think I've ever met.
Literally the whiniest bitch. Yep.
Then we worked there for a bit, and then we moved back to New York, and you and me were looking at a place to live, and then he wanted to move with, and I told you, dude, I was like, no. I was like,
dude, I know it's a bad idea, but come on, it'll be fun.
I'm like, oh my fucking God. So we moved in this place. He never once fucking cleaned. He never picked up after himself. He always let the dogs pee and shit in the house because he never took them out. I remember that one time he picked it up in a garbage bag and left it on the kitchen counter and said it was me. And I was like, are you fucking kidding? Why would I do that? Like, I bought a fucking pooper scooper. Go fucking use it. And then he would never pick up the shit outside. So, like, we always got in trouble. Yep. And I'm like, dude, if they poop, just pick it up. You don't have to go down and bend down and smell it. That's what the pooper scooper's for. Just pick it up, throw it in the trash can. And, like, he never cleaned. He always said that I was the one dirtying up the place. And I was pissed off at you for a while because you, like, were like, oh, yeah, I mean, I guess. And I'm just like, I'll fucking beat both of you to, like, fucking limit. And,
right, and the problem is he, like, was so sly that he, like, would set it up. And, like, you know, it was that. So, like, he would set it up so it looked like you. And that was the problem,
Can you tell Josh not to fucking sneeze during our podcast?
Leah goes, don't fucking sneeze during our podcast. He started smiling.
But yeah, he would just, like, trash the place, say it was me. And I remember you and me were, like, almost, like, friendship over while we were living there.
Well, I was also at this point with him. The reason I was pretty much done with life. Like, I was in a really, really bad spot.
Yeah, and he was the reason No Clue Gaming died the first time around. Is because we would sit in my room and record, and we would only see each other once a week, and we fucking lived together. Like, the whole point was that we were going to live together and go out drinking like we used to. And that never fucking happened. Because if we went out, he would get trashed in, like, not even an hour, and we'd have to take care of him, because when he gets drunk or he gets upset, he starts crying, and it's like the weird crying.
It's this weird high-pitched cry that's, like, super loud.
Yeah, so, like, we would have to take fucking care of him. I couldn't have any fun. But we couldn't hang out without him. It was, like, the biggest thing in the world.
So remember the time that we did ditch him, and, like, we said we were going to Cumbies or something, and then, like, we ended up going to the bar, and he, like, found out and actually walked down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God, this bro can't take a hint. And then fucking, like, where was I? Oh, yeah, he would sit in on No Clue Gaming. I was like, don't fucking open your mouth. He's like, I can talk if I want to talk. That's how he sounded. I'm like, no, because the mic won't pick you up. You're here to fucking listen and to hang out, because that's what you wanted to do. Don't fucking open your mouth, because you're going to ruin the whole recording. And sure enough, he would, and you would try to be, like, kind and turn back and talk to him. But on the recording, it was like you were talking to a fucking ghost.
Yeah,
and it sucked.
You couldn't hear anything.
It made everything terrible, so I bought him a mic just to wear. And I was going to patch in the audio later. He's like, I'm not wearing that. I was like, then get the fuck out of my room. You're either going to wear it, and, like, that way, if you do open your mouth because you have a problem not keeping your mouth shut, then I can patch you in, and we can at least know who she's speaking to. And so he did it, and then he got upset or something and broke the mic in front of me, which cost like $50.
Yeah.
And this is when I had it with him. I grabbed him by the throat and went to go launch him down the stairs. Because he already owed me $400 because I had to cover him for rent, and then I had to cover him for all other expenses. So I spent all my savings covering his side. Mm-hmm. And then, so he already owed me all this money. I was already fed up with him telling lies that I dirtied the house when he would shave his beard in the sink and then not clean it up after, or clip his toenails in the sink and it would still be there. It was super fucking gross.
Yep.
And he would spit all over the mirror and, oh, God, fuck. And I'm getting frustrated thinking about it. But it was just like, the moment he did that, I was like, you're fucking dead. Like, I turned Mortal Kombat and I just grabbed him. And I just wanted to throw him downstairs. I remember you were, like, trying to stop me from doing it. And, of course, he was crying. He was like, "Rrr."
Yeah, I was laughing about that, and I wanted to see it happen, but I was like, you don't need to catch a fucking,
Because you knew
assault
I was going to
charge
get,
or
like,
something.
arrested and
Yeah,
shit. And the
yeah.
neighbors already called the cops on us because we were screaming that loud at each other. And I remember you were just like, no, 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 everything's cool. And, like, I walked out. I was like, fuck you. And I disappeared for a few hours. I went to the bar, like, had a few drinks, walked back. And then I was just sort of like, he was like, oh, you going to touch me again? I was like, do you fucking want me to?
Yeah,
And then he never...
and that's kind of the point where I realized like what was going on in like because I was really into drinking at that point, but it wasn't for fun. It was just to numb everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really bad with the drinking, and then kind of realized like the manipulation from him. Like that night, it kind of snapped me out of it when he did that. You know what I mean? Like to see you lose your anger that bad, I was like, man, I got to reevaluate this.
Dude, I broke
And,
my
like,
table over that kid.
Yeah, I know.
Because he
That's
was
what I'm
sitting on the
saying.
table and he was sitting in the corner so I couldn't get him. I was like, you think this fucking wooden table is going to stop you? And I fucking launched that table.
Yeah.
And like
Well,
he
that's
was
what
like
I'm
curled
saying,
up in the
like-
chair and I was like, get the fuck up. Like,
But I just remember like you coming home and the whole time he was bitching at me, telling me that I had to kick you out, and
my
am
name
I
was
just
on the
gonna let
lease,
you do
motherfucker.
that?
You get
Yeah,
out.
I know. But like, am I just gonna let you do that and all this other stuff? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, you're lucky I don't do it to you. And then like that started a whole fight and him crying super loud. I had to close the windows and stuff because it was like super
Dude, I remember that
embarrassing.
one day when you guys were like fighting. You went after him. And then he was crying. I think it was the fight before you broke up with him, like that big fight. And I remember opening my door, and all you heard, because your door was closed and my door was down the hall, I opened my door and I yelled, can you shut the fuck up, Chris?
Yeah.
Like,
And then that made him cry even more. And I'm just like, oh my God. I was like, I can't even with you. So I remember leaving him in the room and coming to yours. But like that night, though, I remember you coming home and then he started saying that to you. And I like kind of came out and I was like, get the fuck in the room. You know what I mean? And like told you, like, I got this. And then so that whole thing happened. And like, I just remember that. And I was like, man, I should have let her just throw you down the flight of stairs. I definitely wasn't like, I settled that. And I told him, I was like, you can fuck off. And that's the night that we finally were like, nope, we're done. Cause I even told you, I think I came
yeah,
in
because
after, like,
it was
right?
February and you were like, listen, are you really moving out? And I'm like, dude, I can't fucking live with him. It's either him or me. One of us has to go. And I can't fucking live with that scumbag because you guys were still dating, but you didn't kick him out yet, which still pissed me off because I'm like, just send him fucking back to Massachusetts.
So when he moved into your bedroom and all this other stuff, and I was telling you like how weird he was being and everything, and like all this other stuff, and like he would spend hours in the bathroom doing.
Oh my
TikTok
God!
videos.
I remember before I moved out, I was late for work because he wouldn't get out of the fucking bathroom.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm in here. And I'm like, doing fucking what? You've been in there for an hour. So I didn't care if he was on the toilet. I didn't care if his dick was out in the shower. I fucking busted that door down. I was like kicking it down and you come out and you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm late for work. He's been in there for a fucking hour. And I finally kick it open and he has makeup on doing a TikTok in the mirror. And I was like, this is what you've been fucking doing? Like, I was like so baffled. I didn't know whether to like kill him or just like throw him across the railing. Like I was like, I'm late because of this.
Yeah, no, I remember that, and I was just like, oh my God. So that like as soon as you left, I started another fight about that and made him cry. Like I always did that though, but I could say anything to him and make him cry at that point. So I remember he hung up this purple like sheet on the wall, and then that's what he used as his backdrop for the TikTok videos. And then I remember like I think wasn't it when he was still there, you came over because you were hanging out, you were grabbing something, and I was showing you the videos, and like we were laughing about it. And remember, I think he heard us, and he started crying. Like he started
he
going
did.
out. He's like,
well, because what happened was I came over because I
still.
still had shit in that room, and he threw it out. I was like, dude, where's my PlayStation charger? Where is this game? Where is this? Where is that? And he goes, oh, well, I thought you didn't want it, so I threw it away. And I'm like, dude, I still fucking live here. I have 2 weeks left on the lease. This is my shit. You weren't supposed to touch it.
And I didn't know that he was doing that either.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because he did all that shit when I was at work.
I punched him. I don't know if you knew about that. I punched him square in the fucking neck.
No, I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
awesome,
because
though.
I had money hidden, and it was a good like $500-$600. He spent it on weed. So he was standing right next to me. I look at him slowly, just fucking throat punch him, and that's why he was crying. And because that's when I walked in your room and I was like, hey man, what's going on? Like I didn't say anything that I punched him because I just
so funny because I just hear him start crying and I'm like, oh, Leah's being mean again. That's all I assumed. And then you just walk into my room and you're like, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, hey broski.
Like, it felt so... I thought I was going to come in you, get in your face, and be like, how could you let him do this? But it was like, it was weird. It was like the moment finally, my fist connected with him, and he was crying, I was just sort of like, it's
That's
a
all
nice
I
day
needed.
out. Yeah. So, like, I just walked in your room, I was like, hey, man,
Oh
what's
my
going
God.
on? And then I told you, like, my shit was gone, and you were like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. Like,
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, can I do anything? Like, can I just, I'll give you money back and I'll get it from him somehow. Like, I felt fucking awful. I felt awful about the whole thing. And then
yeah.
you're just like, no, it's okay. And I should have known right then and there that that's why, because there's no way you handled it that well. I should have known. But then, like, and then that's where it, like,
And it
kind of
seems
leads
minor,
it.
you know, but, like, it was a
It's not,
build-up.
though.
It was
It was just a build up, and it was something for him to be a prick, and then that's why, like, it kind of built in, because that's when, like, I was finally clear. I actually stopped drinking for a little bit too, and, like, kind of was like realizing, like, man, I'm letting my little depression episode and this fucking idiot dude who I literally want nothing with, like, ruin my friendship, you know, and all this other stuff. So that's why it finally, like, it kind of dawned on me. So I started slowly, like, killing his life, you know what I mean, and, like, making sure that it wasn't going to be great for him. And I started doing that. And then finally, I got sick of him. One day he said something that pissed me off. And at the time, I was actually broken up with him, but I was letting him stay there because I did feel bad because he had nowhere to go. And I was like, and then one day he said something that pissed me off at work. And I was like, you understand that we're not dating anymore, that I can't stand you. I hate you. I think you're a worthless piece of shit. And I should have left you on the side of the road. And, like, he started crying. And I got super pissed off, went outside to smoke weed, and left work and left me there to run the front end in the kitchen, and, like, and all this other stuff. So that's when it was just slowly, like, started to decline. And, like, I finally, like, was able to, like, destroy his life. And, you know, I would do little things here or there to, like, kind of get back at him for you too. And, like, it was just funny. So, like, finally got out of that situation, and then, you know, like, apologized to you, and even said, like, you know, man, I let alcohol and depression and, you know, all this other shit be a crutch and, like, get in the way of stuff, and I'm so sorry, you know, it'll never happen again.
Yeah, and then that was when Era 44 was still, like, kind of happening, and Chris ruined that too, because he couldn't smoke weed during the podcast. I'm like, this isn't...
Kevin Smith does it.
Yeah, I was like, because he's the #1 podcast. I'm like, no, he's fucking not number one. Two, this is not your podcast. This is my fucking podcast with Ariane. And I'm like, so you go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah.
And, but yeah, he ruined that too, and then fucking Rob came along, and, like, he hated me to begin with. He pretended to like me, and I knew straight up. I was like, listen, I don't fucking like you either.
Yeah, it's
and,
pretty
like,
much because I would drop everything, like, you know,
yeah,
and be like, all right,
hang
bye.
out with me, yeah.
Yep.
Even though we had plans and shit, and he would just lose it.
Yep.
And this is when No Clue Gamer was officially dead, and we were just, like, done with it. And you dated him for a while. You broke up with him. I don't remember why.
Because he cheated.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And he was an asshole.
Yeah. And then you reconnected with Josh, and you were happy. And then, so I hopped on Tinder, because you told me to. And then I found my current boyfriend, who we've been together for about a year now.
Yeah, and I actually like him.
Yeah, I do too.
and they like each other. It's
yeah,
nice
the boyfriends
because,
like each other.
Yeah, we can go do our thing, and they talk about hunting or whatever they talk about, and then
yeah, and he's cool with the whole YouTube stuff. He's cool with the podcast stuff. Like, we were supposed to hang out, and I told him, I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot. We were supposed to start our podcast, because our podcast releases on Thursdays, guys, but we record on Tuesdays. And, like, so it gives that time for us to edit and everything, get it uploaded and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so he was totally cool about it. He's like, oh, that's fine. Do you want to do dinner tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And, like,
nice, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, every time he hears you're over, he's like, oh, you guys recorded? And I was like, yeah. So basically, like, that's our life. We've been through crazy shit.
You came around, and now, like, I got, you know, getting with Josh actually helped because I actually stopped drinking. I mean, I've had a few nights, you know, here or there. Excuse me.
And I know we're hanging out this weekend to drink, but it's not like we used to.
Yeah, but it's not like we used to it at all, you know. And, like, even if I come over there, or when I come over there this weekend, I probably would only have like one or two. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely died down from what it was. But, like, now, you know, on my side, it's funny because during our podcast, you'll hear, like, Leah's is probably going to be very quiet, everything else. But meanwhile, where we live, we have 3 dogs, 3 cats, a toddler. So, you know, you're going to hear some noises more than likely. Right now, they're being good because Josh is actually hanging out here with me. He's playing on his Switch. and the dogs are laying down right now. But I just heard the kiddo over the baby radio. And you hear him in there, he's talking away. So he
Maybe
woke up
that's
from his
what I
nap.
heard. Maybe I heard the baby radio.
Yeah, because he just started talking.
Okay.
So yeah, but like, or I wonder like if it's something weird, like this is like picking up like stuff, you know, like how
Sketchy
funny would
shit.
that be? Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. So now we're actually in better places. So we wanted to try to do something that was in a better place with us, not revive anything really, but just
Kind of remodel.
remodel. Yeah, there you go.
Air
That's
4-4, the old version, was definitely sloppy and was definitely made just to have something.
just to
because-
talk and bitch
yeah.
about stuff and hang out. Yep.
And this one's definitely a lot. It's more professional, thought through. There's going to be guests on here, and it's definitely easier because now that we're on Discord, anyone can join.
yeah,
And talk about
which is
anything.
nice.
We don't have to worry about, oh crap, they have to come over here. We don't have like to worry about setup. It's just hop on. I bought Ariane a mic for her birthday. It's very
She
professional.
did,
mic.
and it's awesome, and it's gold.
It is
That's
gold.
all that matters.
And but yeah,
do you want to
so-
hear this? Do you want to hear this real quick?
What?
Yeah, let me have that. You want to hear this? We'll add it in just because
Okay.
I want you to hear it because I know you probably
is
miss
it?
him. Hold on. Well, that's
Yeah,
pretty
so-
much where we're at, you know.
Yeah,
so now we just
we're-
want to go with our current life where we can actually focus and sit down and do something. And it might be crazy on my side, but you know, we get full support from both of our boyfriends, you know, our family. You know, so they understand that this is important to us, which is nice because now we don't have people trying to ruin it. They just want to support it.
Yeah, but I think this is a good first episode. I think that's where we should end it. It is a long episode. It's over an hour. I don't think all of our episodes are going to be this long. Definitely, probably not. It's probably going to be around the 40-45 minute range. But this is just like a good first podcast. Get you guys to know
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
give you a little bit background information. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be episodes where we're just going to say, fuck it, let's do some backstories of times we're hanging out, you know, which are fun. So there's going to be, I feel there'll be different episodes maybe here or there that give a little bit more, but, you know, just to start off to show where we came from, you know, and why we're here now. I thought that all of it was awesome, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was a really good first one.
And I said error properly.
You did. I
did it again.
You did. When we were doing the trailer, she was having such a hard time saying error. She was saying arrow.
Only when we're recording.
Yeah. Only when. Oh, there he is.
Do you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in. Yeah.
Jesus.
He probably dropped Thomas, so that's probably the meltdown. Yeah,
man.
Thomas probably fell out. So,
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning into this first episode of the Era 44 podcast. We upload every Thursday, so we hope to see you every week. Next week, we will have our first guest on, Rickley.
woo! Can you insert applause?
No.
Okay, I'll do
But,
it. Insert applause.
He's going to be on. He's a skateboarder, and he is a DJ on SoundCloud. He makes a lot of cool remixes and his own music,
Nice.
so we're going to talk about that. But
Are
he
we
will be
going to
your
hear
first
any
guest.
of that on the next episode?
I could try, but I don't know.
Okay.
But
Alright, that'd be
thank you for tuning into this episode of the first reinvented Era 44 podcast, and we will see you guys next Thursday.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.
Peace.